Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to for now. Found at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. It might be the Steve here pro wrestling podcast if my good buddy here doesn't tranquilo a little bit. Because you said in the pre-show you might be quitting this because of this beautiful red.
Put it away. Put it away.
I gotta put it away? Hold on.
No disrespect to the creator of that. Put it all away.
Put this away too?
Put it all away.
I got Money in the Bank and the red title.
Put it all away. No disrespect to whoever made that beautiful title. It's gorgeous.
Sleep like this tonight.
I appreciate it. Yeah, sleep like that tonight. I don't want to see it. I appreciate the craftsmanship and won that beautiful title. I don't like what it represents now. I'm not a punishment type guy. Punishments are no fun as far as I'm concerned. They suck. I can't stand them. I don't want to do them anymore. Not because I'm not losing. If you're in my position where you got screwed out of winning predictions, and here's another thing. When I was winning predictions, when I won for Wrestle Kingdom, Big Red disappeared. You denied me my victory with your hijinks, stealing Big Red, taking it away, saying it was stolen. I never got to celebrate. I never got that opportunity. And when I said, hey, I won Wrestle Kingdom predictions, you're like, we have no title to celebrate. It doesn't count. So I'm a little in the wood right now.
I can tell. It was stolen, though.
No, it wasn't. Stop lying to the people. Stop lying. Just stop lying.
Okay.
Stop.
Sorry.
Tell the truth. It wasn't stolen. You took my opportunity to be predictions champion away from me at Wrestle Kingdom. And now that you win, you're forcing me to put an ugly-ass neck tattoo on my neck. My wife doesn't know. She's going to make me sleep on the couch for a week, all because of you. If I have to wear this tattoo, at least admit you stole Big Red. Do it. If you don't admit that you stole Big Red, I'm not wearing that tattoo. I'm backing out. What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do?
You're putting me on a real spot right now.
I am, aren't I? What are you going to do?
I cannot tell a lie, Larson. Big Red was stolen out of my car.
All right, I'm not wearing a neck tattoo then. I'm not going to do it.
Wow.
I know the truth. You know the truth. You've been lying to these people for months, and you denied me my rightful victory. All right?
Okay.
Tell the truth, or I'm not wearing the neck tattoo. That's it.
I cannot tell a lie.
Then don't lie. Don't lie. It wasn't stolen.
All right, fine. I kept it from you. Yeah. I kept it from you. I took Big Red. It was me, damn it. It was me all along, Larson. I took Big Red. I didn't want to deal with you winning another predictions. I was on a bad streak. I stole the damn thing myself. Is that what you want? Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah,
but now it's mine.
Liar. You're a damn liar.
Now it's mine. Now it's mine. Now it's mine. I win it. I called Otis. I deserve all the acclaim.
I deserve my acclaim at Wrestle Kingdom, and you denied it of me. You denied me.
You didn't deserve it.
I did. I whipped your ass at Wrestle Kingdom, and you denied me. You denied me.
But you're gonna wear the neck tattoo, right?
We'll see.
Anyways, WWE Money in the Bank is in the books. Our friendship is on the fray right now.
Yeah, I think I'm happy at least you admit that you're lying to people for so long. You're lying to the good friendos out there. We got to do it for the entertainment. You're lying to people. You're lying.
Made for a good story, though, didn't it?
That's debatable at best. It was debatable. How good really was it? So your idea of a good story is just irritating me. That's the issue. And don't try to say that's not the case. All right.
I like to keep your blood flowing, man.
No.
Otherwise, you
can try to say it as diplomatically as you want. You get joy out of irritating me.
For 25 years, I have. Oh man! All right.
So I will participate in this review until the finish of the Money in the Bank match, and I am going to leave because I can't get through that without probably hurling some expletives and getting upset enough that I'll probably cause this video to be demonetized on the YouTube.
Okay, fair enough. Otis is now Mr. Okay, let's start with the positive note. Asuka is Mrs. Money in the Bank right now.
Great.
And what's your take? So, look, she has been the MVP of the empty arena era, clearly. Is this a reward for that? Or is there some grand plan with her? What's going on with this?
I hope the WWE has realized. What are you laughing for?
I'm trying to take the comments right now.
I'm trying to talk about this.
A big moment.
Yeah, I got you to tell the truth. That was great. I think it's a combination of rewarding great work, but also realizing, based on the opportunity they gave Asuka, maybe Vince realized, oh, she's actually really good.
Yeah.
So it's a situation where you give her an opportunity, she just hits it out of the park. Vince maybe realizes, oh, she's really good. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, based on all the great work she's been doing, she's potentially being rewarded. Mm-hmm. That being said, they've had 3 opportunities to do something interesting with Shayna Baszler, and they have dropped the ball each time.
Yeah. I agree. She was, besides one short bit where she was choking out Rey Mysterio. Look, all this hilariousness aside, this Money in the Bank simultaneous matches, was one of the more inspired pieces of WWE we've had. I mean, this is up there with Firefly, and this, in my mind, beats Boneyard by a mile.
Yeah, it does.
This was thoroughly entertaining. It was hilarious. We had 2 people get thrown off the top of the building with little to no drama. It was they didn't give us Baron being chucked off. He went through with his promise of throwing off Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio, who now apparently are dead. This was absolute. We had multiple guest stars, including, of course, Mr. McMahon. This was absolute. This is a stroke of brilliance. I really thought it was. This was amazing.
It was a lot of fun. Going back to the murders, though, not only did they have those murders kind of happen with basically zero drama.
Yeah.
You didn't get the satisfaction of watching, because like the idea I always thought was like Baron was going to get tossed off, and we'd have the shot like camera on ground, him falling towards camera.
Yeah.
It was like plump. You don't see the aftermath. Didn't even get that.
Right. Yeah.
Just a couple guys got chucked off the edge of Titan Towers. That's it.
Now, I have no idea if they have this in the can, if they did this, but if you want to bring some eyes to Raw, you start advertising, we're going to tell you what happened with Rey and Aleister, and maybe there's like, one of those like a cleaner's whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but you get people to tune in by doing a little bit more of this kind of stuff. You really do.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like WWE right now, we've all seen how their ratings are just, tanking completely right now. And it's become obvious that the audience is such an integral part of what they do more than any sport. I mean, everybody's talking about UFC last night. I would be totally down. I would be probably more into watching the NBA restart without fans on an empty court, or in that sort of situation, because there's legit competition there. It's a fascinating thing. But with wrestling, the fans are such an integral part. They need to start thinking outside of the box. This was great. Boneyard was great. Firefly was great. But bring this kind of thing, and I know it's difficult because production-wise, that'd be tough. They have got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of television to produce every week, plus the monthly pay-per-views. But this was absolutely great, and I'd love to see more of this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I know you don't want to, but let's talk about Otis as Mr. Money in the Bank. You were saying this is way too soon. I agreed with you. I see the writing on the wall with Otis. They have basically ditched Tucky completely. He's been in the best storyline on SmackDown, and that seems to be rewarded. They're going to need to build this guy
a lot. I mean, my worry right now is that he has briefcase. He's going to get suckered to some scenario where he has to put that briefcase on the line. They're going to take that briefcase away from him to give him more sympathy heat.
Mm-hmm.
And then that usually doesn't go very well for people who lose the briefcase.
Yeah.
We've seen it once before with Mr. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't exactly work for him. That was a storyline involving Sandow.
Mm-hmm.
When he and Cody feuded over it for a bit. Sandow tried to cash in on Cena kind of prematurely, lost. no disrespect to Otis. I think he's doing great work. I think he's got potential. It is early. For Otis, it seems like a scenario where we heard where Vince says, all right, let's put the briefcase on this guy, and then he has buyer's remorse. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want people to succeed. And especially Otis being on SmackDown, I don't see him cashing in on Braun. I certainly don't see him cashing in on Bray unless they're going to have Otis be the guy they thought Roman was going to be, the person who's basically unflappable, that Bray can't play his mind games with.
Yeah.
And therefore has a chance against Bray. Just if that's the case, man, they got a lot of legwork to do with Otis. A ton.
There is. So I always think of it as I've dubbed it whenever we talk about it as your power ranking. When, for example, this is a good example. When Jinder Mahal was champion, the guy didn't come off as somebody who legitimately could beat anybody. He was, I guess, what you'd call a chicken shit heel because he had the Singh brothers. He had the great Khali at various times between those three guys helping him out. And he had the title for 6 months, but the only clean victory he had was over
Baron, when you tried to cash
Baron's
in.
failed cash in. I know that because Luke mentioned it, I think, on Quizlemania.
He did.
And so you need to get Otis to the point. Now, he had a clean win over, who did he fight this past week on SmackDown? Was it Dolph again? He had a clean win on Dolph at Mania, and then he fought somebody else. I think it was Dolph again.
It was Dolph to get into Money in the Bank, I thought.
Was that okay? That might have been it. I forget. But anyways, he had a clean win. So they can either try to change perception, which you can do. Like, you can change perception just by having people win.
Yeah, Principal Photography said there's an article where Otis says he'll only cash in for the tag titles for what it's worth.
And I mean, that's I guess that's something.
That's the thing.
You need to put some legwork into the tag division for us to care about that.
I think part of it too is if he had been the one to actually go up there and get the brief. I'm not going to call anybody's Money in the Bank title win illegitimate by any stretch of imagination, but the situation where he climbed up, got the briefcase off, and had the moment where he could pose on top of the ladder and hold it up there. You're like, okay, this guy is emblazoned in my mind as Mr. Money in the Bank. He won that match himself. Yeah, sure. Not a situation where Elias comes in, hits Baron with the guitar, AJ fumbles the briefcase because of that, and it lands in Otis's arm. It seems like an accidental win. Yeah. And you gotta wonder how many times is fortune going to smile upon this man before his luck runs out. Yeah. Essentially. And now if that's the story they want to tell, and his luck runs out, not when he tries to cash in, but at some point when he's holding the briefcase, ends up losing an opportunity to somebody to gain sympathy. Yeah, you can't have somebody who lucks into the briefcase. Everything, pretty much. No, you're right. You can't have somebody who they've given him a clean win or two. Yeah. And Dolph is power ranking wise, Dolph is no chump, really. Yeah. So it will be interesting to see what tack they take. Are they gonna use this to is he gonna cash in on the tag division? Vince doesn't care about the tag division, so I find that difficult to believe. Same. Are they going to get heat on Dolph by having him take the briefcase on him, or some other heel? Maybe. I find that more likely than Otis cashing in on the tag division, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, like if Baron wants to make a case that the briefcase was his, because he's on the same show as Otis. Just this week on SmackDown, he singled out Otis for an extra bit of trash talk. Mm-hmm. If they're going to make that a thing and try to have Baron steal effectively the briefcase from Otis to get more heat on Baron and also some more sympathy for Otis, and then maybe a year from now actually give him the proper singles push. Mm-hmm. Maybe, but I don't know, man. It's just you see Otis holding that briefcase. It just feels too early for a legitimate Money in the Bank run and cash in. It just feels way too early. Yeah, you put it on somebody who could be the next guy. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like Seth Rollins was like the perfect, and that's why so AJ is always the guy who could always have it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like AJ made total sense. But this does present, at least in this case,
Like with AJ, does he look good with it? Does it make sense? Of course. He looks like a Money in the Bank guy.
It checks every box.
It does. I mean, that's kind of why I like Otis, is because he doesn't, and now we have several scenarios in which this can play out. And are any of them him cashing in a big moment of WrestleMania? Maybe not, but they've got a lot of time to explore what they can do with it. Again, this is Blow It Up Vince we're talking about. Maybe he sees some, I mean, look, Otis, for all we know, fills a lot of boxes for Vince, and maybe he will be a guy that they explore. I don't know.
Maybe
the next couple months.
If this were 2021, the same scenario played out, it'd feel a lot more likely that.
Here's the thing, though: nobody would get a bigger pop than Otis tonight. Nobody would. If there was a live crowd in attendance, nobody would get a bigger pop than Otis.
I'm just trying to do something. Says here in chat, that bit with him breaking the steps on the ladder on SmackDown, this whole stroke of luck with him wouldn't make sense. I understand that. Since he couldn't climb up the ladder. I understand that completely. The only way he's going to win is if it fell into his lap, basically.
And there's also somebody mentioned, somebody in chat moments ago mentioned that apparently he was on up, down, down, and said he can't actually he can't extend his arms up over. Oh, here we go. Dr. Lipkin said Otis is on up, down, down doing a flex ring workout game, and said that he can't raise his arms above his head because of his muscles. So he literally couldn't get the briefcase down himself.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you would book him to be a strong Money in the Bank winner if that were the case. But I don't know, man. I'm curious as to where they're going to take it. I have the same concerns, and I believe that it's going to be worse instead of better. Mm-hmm. But hey, Otis, I did have the feeling they've been running with Otis so hard lately. That this was going to happen, and then whatever the consequences of that are, that's going to play out. We'll just start at the beginning, though, from there.
Sure. You didn't watch this pre-show match. It was actually pretty good.
That's not surprising. Jeff Hardy and Cesaro are both pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fun match.
Mm-hmm.
Cesaro's working over Hardy's ribs pretty good. Rammed the apron a couple times. The end, though, sees Cesaro sets up for a neutralizer. Hardy backdrops him, but Cesaro lands on his feet, hits Hardy the clothesline, gets a 2. Hardy rolls out of the ring. Cesaro hits him with an uppercut, and then Hardy sends Cesaro into the ringside area. Oh, that's right. Follows the flying clothesline off the barricade, back of the ring. Swan Ton to pick up the win. All in all, a pretty fun match.
No sign of Sheamus.
No, I was almost kind of half expecting for Sheamus to come out and cost Hardy this match. Maybe they didn't want to tease any alliance between former bar members Cesaro and Sheamus, because it seems like that team is done for.
That's a good point.
After that, the main card started off with New Day versus Lucha House Party versus Miz and Morrison versus Forgotten Sons. This match is actually quite a bit of fun. Thankfully, John Morrison didn't nearly get his neck broken in this match.
Yeah, that was kind of nice. They didn't drop him on his head. Though he had some snazzy green pants too.
Yeah, he did, because money. There's this great spot where John Morrison he sets up for a Spanish fly on the top rope with Grand Metalik, and you think, oh, he's just going to do it into the ring. No, he does it to the outside, to the floor where everybody else is standing. Does it onto all of them. That was spectacular. That was crazy. Now, if he only could have followed up with Starship Pain after that, he would have got himself a win.
Pretty much.
So he does that on Metalik, and Metalik is isolated for a long time. Until he finally hits Tornado DDT on Cutler, I believe. Gets a tag to Lindsay. Morrison's into a lot of great back and forth. Eventually, Miz and Kofi are in. Kofi goes for Trouble in Paradise. Miz catches it, goes for a figure 4. Kofi instead kicks him out of the ring. This allows Cutler to tag himself in while Miz is on his way out. He eats an afternoon delight from the New Day. They set up for up, down, down. That's broken up. Morrison hits Starship Pain. Lucha House Party break that up, and we get a bunch of great stuff from Lucha House Party, which kind of culminates in Grand Metalik hitting the top rope elbow, but he walks out on the rope a couple steps. And what is up with my camera? It keeps freezing. Forgotten Sons break that up. End of the day, though, Grand Metalik goes for a springboard. Big E catches him, hits a big ending for the win. New Days successfully retains.
Once again, the only thing Jackson Riker really did of substance here was get kicked out.
He did get kicked out. He low-bridged Big E out of the ring, and the ref's like, no, you can't do that. Get out of here. You got to go.
After that, we had a Lacey Evans promo. I actually did not catch any of this. I'm not sure.
I really didn't either. I went to go grab a beer, and then I came back, and yeah, I missed this completely.
I'm sure she said something about winning Money in the Bank. After that, Drew McIntyre had a promo, or he had an interview rather, where he wished everybody a happy Mother's Day. Of course, hopefully everybody called your mom.
Yes.
And then they said, I think Charlie's question was something like, "People are calling you an underdog," and he was like, "The fuck? What? Do I look like an underdog?"
Well, at first he said he understand why people would say that. He said, given how I kind of came back to WWE, Seth in the meantime won all these belts, he would understand that. At the same time, he's Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then we get a match that seemed fairly unmotivated when it was announced. R-Truth versus MVP. MVP starts talking to R-Truth. This brings Bob Lashley down the ring. He tells MVP, "You got the night off." And R-Truth is like, he's got the night off. What does that mean? He kind of accidentally slaps Lashley. And then the ref gets there, rings a bell. Lashley makes pretty quick work of R-Truth, beats him after a spear.
After that, we had a Baron Corbin promo. This was really long because I kept on turning away from my TV because I didn't really care about it. And then every time I would turn back towards my TV, he'd still be there.
It looked like he was at medieval times.
It did, yeah. He made sure to be in front of
he was at medieval times Orlando. I don't even know if they have a location there.
I like this kind of thing, though. I like when they just have people doing their iPhone stuff. I like that. Do more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they built the Mixed Match Challenge. It was great.
Yeah, I know.
After that, we had a Bayley and Sasha interview, and Charlie asked Bayley if she blamed Sasha for their loss on Friday. Bayley said very emphatically, no. And then tonight, she's going to beat Tamina because she's the most dominant champion anybody has ever seen in this business.
Correct.
After that, we had that match, Bayley versus Tamina. And this is actually a pretty fun match. This is like the best Tamina match I've seen.
And all the matches, I will say this, all the matches top to bottom were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there. They're really busting their asses. I think they realize, hey, there's no fans at these shows. So for people watching at home, which is everybody, we really got to deliver because we're not going to get that reaction from the crowd when we do this or that, something cool, get heat, whatever. We're not get the reactions we used to.
Yeah.
So we really have to translate what we're doing through the lens of the camera.
Yeah.
And bring forth our best effort in terms of telling interesting stories and not having matches with lulls in them. Because when you have matches with rest holds, for example, that gives the crowd in attendance an opportunity to start cheering on the face.
Yeah.
You get the clapping going and stuff. When there's no crowd there, there's no one to clap and cheer on the face. Therefore, that spot is utterly pointless.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But if I remember correctly, wasn't a whole lot of that during the show.
No, there wasn't. There's that. Yeah. I haven't actually noticed during the empty arena era there hasn't been a lot of rest holds.
The match that I recall most recently with the most headlocks was Kazarian versus Moxley on AEW this past week, where Kazarian's prime strategy scheme was to put Mox in a headlock.
This was fun though. There's a lot of going outside the ring and throwing people through tables or over tables and stuff like that.
Over announce tables. Yes.
Bayley was going after Tamina's knee.
Correct. Especially early on. Just wrapping around the ring post. At one point, Tamina goes for a super kick. Bayley catches it, locks her in a knee bar. Tamina gets the bottom ropes. She keeps on going after that knee. At one point, Bayley tries to lift Tamina up in fireman's carry position, but then she falls, essentially face first. And then eventually Bayley retakes the advantage, drops some elbows on Tamina's neck, gets some water from the outside table, throws it, and that's when Tamina, this is a great spot. So Tamina takes Bayley, throws her against the ropes. They're on the floor. So Bayley kind of jumps up against the ropes on the apron, then rebounds off, and then Tamina clotheslines her. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Tamina super kicks Bayley off the apron, tosses her over the announce table. She gets a super kick, Samoa drop, goes for the cover. However, Sasha gets in the ring. And then Tamina, rather than focusing on what she needs to do, cover Bayley, she chases Sasha. And that allows Bayley to hit the crucifix pin to get the win. As soon as the bell rings, Tamina picks up Bayley in fireman's carry position, about to drop with a Samoa drop. Sasha comes in. She hits a running knee on Tamina. and then that's that.
Yeah. After that, and then Bayley and Sasha were all like happy and cool and friendly and stuff, but they're gonna start. That's gonna fall apart.
You think so?
After that, we had a very slow Anton Chigurh, Chris Jericho 2009 Seth promo, where he's like, Drew knows who I am. Drew knows what I'm capable of. He understands it's my destiny, my density to defeat him for the WWE title. But Drew is still willing to step into the fire with Seth, so he's going to do a favor of his life, unburden him, because it's not his industry, it's not his company in the future, it's Seth's duty.
You said duty.
He said duty. Then we had a Bray Braun video package we've seen before. This was, I'll be honest, man, so maybe taking out some of the more destructive elements of the Roman Reigns feud with Braun Strowman a couple years ago, this is probably my favorite Braun Strowman match. I mean, even if you have the goofiness with the whole mask thing, I had mentioned this, as an idea that I thought was a cool one. Bray not necessarily beating Braun, but taking over Braun and having the Universal Championship under his control via Braun. I thought that could have been a really cool story you're going into heading into SummerSlam. They elected to tell that entire story. They basically, said, okay.
Span of 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like a really good match.
It was a fun
and
match.
Then and Bray was really handling Braun. Braun's, fighting back. At one point, Braun is down sort of near the apron on the floor, and he rises back up, and he's got the black sheep mask on. And Bray starts freaking out, being like, "Oh man, welcome back! I
told you, give me a chance, I'd find you."
And Braun is doing all the mannerisms of that he used to do, and he rips off his Braun Strowman train choo-choo shirt, and they embrace, and then you realize,
the puppets are all around there, and they're all celebrating and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. The puppets are there. And it's I get what they're doing, man. I know that it's going to be okay. So, and then Braun, of course, is just playing Bray. Given what we just saw with Bray Wyatt and John Cena, how Bray Wyatt basically teleported John Cena into this supernatural phantom zone, and he can't mentally take down the guy who isn't even booked mentally that strong. This makes Bray look pretty bad.
Unless the situation where he wants Braun to walk into whatever next match they have with so much hubris that is his undoing.
That'd be. I mean, look, if they've told Bray, listen, because I think that Vince gives Bray seemingly quite a bit of leeway. I mean, except when Goldberg pulls his creative control clause. I look, Braun, if I'm not mistaken, is Bray's child's godfather. These guys are close.
Yeah.
I have no doubt this match was put together primarily by Bray to make Braun look really good.
Yeah.
But I also have no doubt that Vince has probably told Bray, hey, by SummerSlam, if you're probably going to win this title back. Maybe they're taking it bit by bit, maybe. But I don't know. Bray is too good, and Braun just doesn't really work as Universal Champion. What is that face you're making?
So Patrick Sparks in our mod chat has I was reacting to the finish of Money in the Bank, and here's a shot of Steve throwing up double middle fingers. Being gracious in victory.
That was just sort of to the world. People doubting me, I mean, I came in third on Quizlemania.
You could try harder than that, man. Doubting you. You set expectations so low, I think people were impressed you finished third.
Here's the thing. This is the thing, man. You may not know this. You may not think about it. You may not realize it. But when you're giving your predictions and I give my offering, sometimes you could be a bit on the condescending side when it comes to shooting me down in favor of why you think AJ's going to win.
Yeah, that's entertainment, man. I'm trying to create
now it's entertainment.
I'll rub your nose and shit.
You kind of do.
I might passive aggressively for the sake of entertainment roll my eyes slightly. Just
that's worse. That is worse. rolling my eyes slightly. That's even more dismissive.
It's not worse because it's not sincere.
Than straight up. I feel like it is. Well, my double middle fingers are not sincere. It's all very playful.
No, man, it looks pretty sincere to me.
The double middle fingers.
The joy on your face is pretty
that was
damn sincere.
A heated wrestling moment, Larson. It was a heated wrestling moment.
I know it's out of focus. It's like it's like a Dark Side of the Ring recreation right here. Right there.
Oh man. Yeah.
So anyways, Braun won. So they have the hug. All the puppets show up. Braun takes the black sheep masks off, tosses it to the mat, stomps on it, hits Bray with a power slam, gets the win. I'm guessing Bray is going to fire back with the full power of the Fiend next time, and the outcome will most likely be different.
Yeah, probably.
Because Bray has said that Firefly Funhouse Bray is the more forgiving, the more welcoming of the two, whereas the Fiend not so much.
Yeah. Which led us to, why am I here? Where is this?
Next, we get a SmackDown hacker thing.
Oh, yeah.
They say they want to know, people want to know who I am, and the hacker responds, "They are everywhere. They see everyone. They hear everything. They are the truth, and no one is safe." I've had a chance to go and drop this into a Premiere and mess with the audio, so I don't know who's talking here.
Given that at least the last video, and maybe the last two videos, they've been able to mask the voice even, they've been able to stump audio files.
This hasn't been a simple pitch thing. One of the last ones, I did the pitch thing, and there's some more digital artifacting and masking of the voice. So even just a simple pitch shift can't, it won't allow you to ascertain who is behind the hacker.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Again, man, I thought this was a really, really good match. I think if there was a crowd here, they'd be super into it.
Mm-hmm. Finish was really good.
Yeah.
The finishes that can kind of come out of nowhere. The best finishes, in my estimation, and Drew can hit that Claymore pretty much out of anywhere.
Yeah, Seth had a stomp and Drew kicked out of it.
Yeah, that was something else.
Booking him super strong. In all the WrestleManias, he had 3 stomps on Brock to beat him, right?
I want to say it was like 4 or 5. It felt like a lot.
Was it? Okay. And what wasn't one of them on a chair or something?
Yeah.
So that's what they think of Drew. He kicked out of a stomp. Nobody besides Brock, I think, has done that. And then let's see here. Drew.
There's a lot of good back and forth. He had Seth kicks out of a future shock. Drew goes for a stomp a couple times. I mean, everybody gets their normal stuff in, but it's just the orchestration of it, the way it was put together. We all expected Drew to walk out of this match still champion, but if they can put the little bit of doubt in your mind, Seth has a chance, then they're doing their job right. At certain points, I was like, if song comes out right now and helps Seth win, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more interesting part to me was so Drew ends up winning. There's no interference, nothing.
Oh, Seth has new music. We didn't mention that. Seth has new music.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. You said it's like a choir stuff, and then followed by,
and then it kind of picks up, but it's not as heavy or as rocking as his previous thing.
At the end of the match, so Drew wins, and then he offers Seth a handshake, and Seth accepts it and shakes his hand. Drew leaves, and Seth, he sort of mulls over maybe the match, maybe the handshake, and then he gets sort of the menacing look on his face, like he wasn't happy with any of that, which clearly he wasn't. And then I thought that somebody was going to attack Drew after that, like, hey, I'm gonna shake your hand, but my guys are waiting in the back for you.
Yeah, you expect Buddy to come out or something.
That didn't happen. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Seth after this.
Yeah. I went and got another beer during that whole exchange, so I missed that. So thank you for filling me in.
Oh yeah.
Next, we got a R-Truth interview. He's asked about his match. R-Truth says that MVP was a tough opponent. Of course, he didn't face MVP. Mentions that he didn't think he could beat him. However, it seems like MVP put some weight on.
Because he thinks it's still 2009 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And he says, I should be on cloud 9 right now, but I'm not because I didn't have anybody to celebrate with. And it shows a picture of himself with the 24/7 title. He says, it's time to get my baby back. I'm going to sack Tom Brady and take back my 24/7 championship.
Fun fact, Tom Brady is not the 24/7 champion, but his teammate, Rob Gronkowski, is.
Yes.
After that, we had these Money in the Bank matches, man, from the
they were
get-go.
a lot of fun, except for the finish. It was a lot of fun.
From the get-go, when they're all when they all walk into the lobby with their theme music, I don't know why I laughed so hard when Shayna's music kicked in, and because Shayna is supposed to be the most grounded. She's like MMA person. Like there's no like, and so she just like strolls into the lobby to her music. I thought that was the funniest thing.
For some reason, when Carmella comes in and starts moonwalking, you hear her sneakers squeak on the floor.
Oh, yeah,
that was great.
And then all the men's entrances, they're just milling about in the gym. And especially Aleister Black. Aleister Black had a couple moments here that were just hilarious directly because of how he is this mystical, supernatural type guy, Mr. Cool. Mm-hmm. And he just comes strolling around the corner when his music is playing. It's hilarious. And then Daniel Bryan walks in. Hey, guys, you ready to fight?
He literally does the clap.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's absolutely terrific. And then the best entrance on them all, everybody's waiting for Asuka. Her music kicks in. They all look up, and she's like hanging on the other side of like a rail.
It's like a mezzanine up there, yeah.
Yeah, and then she does a straight up like...
she launches herself off, a dive off there, yeah.
Yeah, she does a dive off it. It's like a friggin' indie show or something.
Yeah, pretty much. And then so she gets in the elevator, and she's in there dancing. Everybody else tries to scramble to get to the elevator, but she's on her way up to the next, up to a few floors or whatever.
Yeah,
doing her that dance she does now. It's great. The guys, they're brawling in the gym.
This is great.
This was great.
Baron takes a weight plate, so he's going at it with
Daniel Bryan.
He takes a weight plate and he chucks it at Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan gets out of the way, and so it just goes like straight into the mirror, and Baron just starts staring at how he's just busted this mirror completely. What's going on in his idiot mind? Oh my God, that's 7 years of bad luck.
That's 107 years of bad luck.
I'm not gonna win this now. So he's just sitting there mesmerized by what he just did.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan takes him out.
Meanwhile, Otis and AJ are brawling. Otis gets AJ down on the squat rack and then traps AJ under a barbell, which looks to have, I don't know, there was 245s. Let's say, I don't know, like 250 pounds roughly, maybe more than that. Mm-hmm. Probably more than that under this barbell. AJ just could have easily slipped under it. Easily.
Oh, yeah.
But he's I'm
but
trapped.
That wouldn't have been the funny.
I know. So he asked for Ray to help him, and Ray's like, not going to happen.
Nope.
And then all the other guys are running by the bathroom. Ray's lagging behind a little bit, so he runs by the bathroom. Toilet flushes. Brother Love comes out, says to Ray, "I love you,
Dirty Pritchard."
Toilet flushes.
Yeah. So the men, they fight into the elevator. Ray is too late. The women, except for Asuka, they take the stairs up.
And so there's I don't know where this is in Titan Towers, but apparently there's looks like a little sitting area where there's a little, I don't know what you call it, enclave, where there's two really narrow walls and then a larger wall that have ropes, and behind those ropes is fence. And so they start wrestling there. Daniel Bryan ties up Baron in those ropes and starts kicking him, and Otis is behind him doing the yes chant, marking out about it. And then Bryan turns towards him and starts kicking him too.
Yeah. And then some weird NWO type Doink the Clown, because the original Doink the Clown, Matt Osborne, I believe, has passed away.
Yeah.
So I don't know who this is. Maybe it was one of the subsequent Doinks. I don't know. But he pops up from...
Wasn't Steve Kern one of the other Doinks?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he was. I thought Skinner was one of the other Doinks.
So he pops up from behind a chair. So there's a WWE employee number 2. Nia Jax slams Carmella. So they all end up in the boardroom. This was great. So Shayna and Dana are in there too. Shayna and Nia brawl. Dana clobbers Nia with a steel chair after Nia, I think, just dropped Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
There's above the boardroom table, there's a see-through, a transparent briefcase, a Money in the Bank one. It's got the Money in the Bank logo, and it's filled with cash. Now, seemingly, it's just a decorative thing, but Dana Brooke looks at it, she sees it, she pulls it down, and she starts, like, silently celebrating.
Yeah.
And then somebody filmed Stephanie McMahon on her iPhone, apparently, because they go to Stephanie McMahon saying, Dana, what are you doing? You know, and she's like, that's not really the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's on the roof. And can you please clean up this mess? You've made a mess here. Yeah. But it was like shot on a completely different camera. It looked like a cell phone.
iPhone thing, yeah.
But it was a fun little cameo there.
Yeah. So Carmella comes in. She gets a picture of herself framed for when she won the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then busted over Dana, and then Lacey clobbers her with the woman's right. AJ's going through the hallways somewhere looking for Ray, and there's pictures all over the place. He finds a picture of
Ray, and he's like, he looks at it, and he's like, "Come on, Ray, where are you?" All full of confidence. And then, of course, he punches it. Then, of course, he comes across a picture of the Undertaker. Last ride.
33. Yep.
Yeah, and he gets freaked out by that, so he starts like sliding across. He's as far away from it as he can to slide past it. He goes opening doors, and he opens one with, like, it's just all blue light and fog, and there's a coffin in there.
Yeah. And Taker's music hits when he opens it, and he's totally having flashbacks to the Boneyard match. Alistair busts in there.
By the way, that needs to continue. There needs to be, like, a long-term PTSD type thing where we start getting hints that this AJ isn't, like, the real AJ. It's like some weird ghost AJ or something.
So Alistair comes in, kicks him, closes the door, and Alistair kind of does a...
He's very happy with that.
He's very pleased with himself. Next, we cut to Paul Heyman. He's sitting in front of this huge spread. Ton of food. And then everybody runs in. The men and women are kind of facing off across from each other. And then eventually Otis has some food land on him. And
he has like a freak out. He's like...
Because he has a piece of food that lands on him.
Yeah.
And then he starts freaking out. And then yells "food fight," and then picks up a tray of food and tosses it at Heyman. And that's when the food fight commences, during which Shayna chokes out Rey Mysterio.
That was awesome, yeah.
And then Otis and Nia like sandwich him.
There's that great shot of Alistair. Everybody like looks shocked when Otis tosses the tray at Paul Heyman's face, and they do this great reaction on Alistair Black again, playing against, you know, his whole supernatural look at me, I'm so cool guy. It was just a really goofy expression. It was great. It was so great.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So Dana comes in. She still has a picture over her head,
which is great.
She shoves Carmella into Nia, and then Nia turned around and then grabs Dana by the neck and then shoves her into the soda machine that's behind him. Meanwhile, Carmella tries to super kick Nia Jax. She catches it and then power bombs her through the table. And then we get a stare down between Nia and Otis while Otis is eating a sandwich. They depart. Otis ends up at the cafeteria again. Oh yeah. He starts freaking out. Starts throwing food at his face. He sees the pies. In rolls Johnny Ace.
Yeah.
People power. Otis throws a pie in his face. Meanwhile, AJ and Daniel Bryan, they're brawling. They make their way to Vince's office. It played totally a scene like at a 2K19 because at first he's in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, oh, that's Vince there. Yeah. And he's like, get out of my office.
Get out of my office.
And then they're like, oh, should we? Okay. And then they start fixing things up, putting the chair back in place. They leave. Vince goes and puts some hand sanitizer on once they're out the door, and then they have a bit of exchange on the outside of the door, or and then they start brawling again. And then Baron, I believe it was around this time where Baron beats them up and goes, I'm going to the roof.
I'm going to the roof.
And we go up there, and Nia and Oscar are already up there. They get in the ring, the two of them and Lacey. They're brawling, jockeying for position. Eventually, Oscar gets the upper hand. She's climbing up a ladder. Baron runs in, climbs the opposite side of the ladder.
Because Oscar's like batting at both briefcases. And so Baron's trying to clarify to her, you get that one because this one's mine. Oscar's not having any of it and punches Baron off the ladder.
Punches him, then kicks him off.
Yeah.
and then grabs the briefcase. She wins the first briefcase.
Yeah.
We have a couple of replays of that. Otis runs in, and by that point, Asuka's teleported off the top of the ladder.
Mm-hmm,
And Otis is trying to figure out, how am I going to climb up the ladder? Last time I tried to climb a ladder on SmackDown, the rungs broke.
Because you're not supposed to literally stomp on each rung as hard as you can, which is what he's doing, and it's hilarious.
By that point, Baron's back in. They're brawling a bit. Ray's up there. Alistair's up there. And at this point, Baron just kind of nonchalantly, with zero build, chucks Ray and then Alistair seemingly off the roof of Titan Towers.
I don't know if they shot a build to this, but I thought that this was the right choice because it was so out of nowhere. It was so out of nowhere for Ray just to come at him, and he just chucks him and then chucks him. This is Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black. Like, two of the bigger names right now in WWE, and they just get chucked. Aleister Black tweeted out a picture of like a goofy guy in like a ghost costume.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
And the look of satisfaction on Baron's face is so great. Like, that was probably bigger to him than winning Money in the Bank.
Maybe. So at this point, the final four for the men is AJ, Baron, Otis, Daniel Bryan. So they're all brawling. AJ hits Otis with a phenomenal form. Otis rolls out of the ring. He starts to climb the ladder. Baron meets him up there. They're brawling up top of the ladder. They both pull the briefcase off. Elias comes in, hits Baron with the guitar. AJ has the briefcase for a second.
Yeah.
My hand's up in the air. I'm happy.
Oh, my God.
And then Butterfingers AJ drops the briefcase, and it goes right into Otis's lap. And it's,
would you give me permission to make a video with that, our reaction to that, cut with the pre-show comments here on the podcast? I think people would like to see all that in one piece.
Whatever, fine. Fine.
I love you. This is, you've been like one of my best friends, like my best friend since 1997, 1996.
1996. Yeah, I get you. You're right.
I love you, man.
All right.
I couldn't do this kind of thing with anybody else.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing. I'll wear the goddamn neck tattoo. That's fine. I wanted you to tell the truth.
I did.
You did, because you denied me months of holding that title that I deserved, and you denied it to me.
Look at this. Look at our storytelling ability. This wasn't planned, by the way. People are asking, Larson dropping that on me, tell the truth or I'm not going to do it. That wasn't planned.
No.
We're this is like Brett Shawn right now, man.
Yeah. So you denied me of that. So to get you the full fruits of your reward, I needed some measure of comeuppance for you. I needed that.
Storytelling 101.
So I'll wear the stupid neck tattoo. My wife will hate me for a week. I won't be able to go out in public. My kids every morning will question what an idiot I am. But it's almost all worth it for you to say.
They'll want to do the same thing. They're not going to think you're an idiot. They think you're the bee's knees. They think you're cool as shit. You're going to wear that, and they're going to be like, Mom, can we do it too? And she's going to be like, no, man.
And I'll tell them no. I said, no, this is, your dad got punished for getting something wrong.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, I made Steve admit he was a liar. So it's basically worth it.
So this is your Baron throwing Ray and Aleister off the roof.
I guess so.
It's your moment for that.
I guess so.
I
may have lost predictions, but in the grander sense of things, I won because I exposed.
It's like a Mania level payoff you got with me admitting that I had Big Red here. Sometimes there were some shots like we were recording. It was just like, off camera, just barely.
I know. I'm sure it was just right there.
Yeah. It was never under the couch though. So there's that. Yeah, it was always like right here usually.
Yeah.
This is a great story though. I had the mugshot and everything. I made the mugshot.
Yeah, I know you made the mugshot.
Yeah.
I know that.
I drew that.
I know you drew that.
I probably blamed Wayne was probably right. I probably blamed him.
I think everybody knew that you were lying. No one really knew it was stolen.
I think it was pretty convincing, to be honest with you. Anyways, should we read some of this stuff?
Yeah, we got some things in here.
All right. We got MGB live with a bit. I would have had Corbin win personally, but sadly Styles screwed Corbin. At least Otis could have had a bit of fun with it before he has a failed cash in. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, probably the Bobby Shriv mentions Alistair's tweet about the ghost picture.
Yeah.
Because apparently he has left this mortal coil. Moo Cow Biscuit, thank you for the sub. Wow. Tanak is that weirdo? Hope that's right. Vince was totally trying to book the end of the match during the AJ Daniel fight in the office, lol. Maybe that's why he had that pad of paper out.
Yeah, that was a weird little bit of mystery, huh?
Why that's got to be an in-joke. That's got to be something.
You're probably right. He was writing on a legal pad, but not on his desk, like behind his desk.
Mm-hmm. Zondo, so all of WWE's match of the year so far have been these cinematic matches. There's a couple other ones that I thought were not cinematic ones.
In the empty arena era, the one that stands out to me is probably Alistair versus Apollo Crews on Raw.
That was a good match.
That was a really good one.
White Brownie says blame AJ's gloves, Larson. Here's the thing: if those are like legit football gloves, those things
nothing's
are tacky
getting out of
as
those.
all hell. Those things are, unless they're old, all you gotta do get some water on them. They're super tacky again.
Yeah.
Enforcer says love you, Larson. Thank you, Enforcer. Fear and Loathing. What do AJ and Shayna have in common? Both were buried alive.
Yeah, kind of, huh?
Zondo, Baron was scared when he broke the mirror because he thought he shattered himself.
That's good. That's good.
Diehard Homer, what if the cops show up to question Baron for murder?
Yeah, you could do that. You're gonna have a lot of, like, right now, 3 of Raw's bigger attractions, Alistair, AJ, and Ray, are all basically dead people.
Mm-hmm.
They need to start a faction of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Ryan K. Lamb, Larson, people ask you why you have a neck tattoo. Just say you beat up Del Rio in jail and got it as a prize for doing so.
Oh, man. So right now, according to Alvarez on Twitter,
yeah,
which, hey, should we raid Wrestling Observer Live?
I don't think they'd appreciate it.
You don't think so?
Do they think they know what a raid is?
What if we just ask the friendos to say, with love from the Going In Raw podcast?
I don't know.
I think we should raid. Is there anybody else right now that we should raid? I'm trying to see.
Nobody. Is he or Thayer Thabata Thayer Thabata?
Thayer? Nobody else is. No, it says Thayer's watching Steven Larson. I already rated
never
him.
mind.
I already
Never mind
rated
then.
him.
No.
Really?
I don't feel like they'd appreciate it.
That's probably true. But
That's how
maybe
they do
they
it.
would. I don't know. They're just people.
No, I understand that. Mr. Forbesy, Steve, how could you? I believe you that whole time. Maybe you are the real snake in the relationship.
Mr. Forbesy is an outright mark.
Principal photography, we didn't get the T-Rex spot. Worst match ever. We saw the T-Rex at least.
Wait, they have sub-only chat? No way. No, they don't, because I'm not a sub of theirs. Oh, chat. Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to do it anyways. I always talk shit about Alvarez anyways.
Dr. Steve Winters, Dark Side of the Ring, Friendo Fallings, or how one man risks friendship for glory and pride.
Oh, the wheels are already turning.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Get him, Jones. AJ was terrified in Vince's office because AJ just fired Gallows and Anderson. I mean, that's what he was writing down. Who's getting fired?
That was a good bit between AJ and Daniel Bryan when they both leave. It's like, oh man, you were such a coward in front of Vince. It's like, what are you talking about? You're the one who said we needed to put the chairs back where we had them. Oh, I said that? Whack.
Yeah, that was good. Dang MQ, Larson could win big gold for double or nothing. True.
Oh, Lawrence is on?
Oh, really?
Oh, I'll raid the shit out of Lawrence.
All right, yeah, let's finish up here.
Okay.
Asian Murr, Baron got away with 3 murders. Ray, Alistair, and Mirror Mojo.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, Lawrence is on. Anything else?
I am Mergen. Sent a bit. Love you guys. Thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was Pitts.
It was kind of great. It's a monumental night. Monumental. Like, this might make Drama Alert.
Maybe.
Let's get right in the news. Anyways, thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We definitely appreciate it. We have a good friend from the Machinima days, Lawrence Sontag, formerly of Funhouse and Inside Gaming, of course. So if you're down for it, looks like he's playing some Star Wars related stuff. Give him our best. Give him our love.
Yes.
Be nice to Lawrence. He's a kind soul and a good person.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and sign off on the podcast. And right after that, we're going to initiate this. Well, screw it. I'll just do the raid now.
Sure.
Raid channel. There he is. And we will start the raid now.
There we go.
In 8 seconds. Oh, man, we got 200, 300.
Wow.
313.
All right.
And there we go. Raid now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.